Texas and Mississippi announced that they're lifting their COVID restrictions, including mask mandates, against these strong warnings of public health officials. And the same Republicans putting workers in harm's way are also silent on a courageous drive to unionize Amazon workers. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. We are tantalizingly close to what could very well be the end of the COVID pandemic. No one knows exactly when that could happen. Predictions for when we'll hit herd immunity and return to normal range from as early as April to as late as Christmas. But we know with vaccines ramping up and cases trending down, especially as we get closer to summer, there are genuine reasons for optimism. And I know it's hard to believe. When I hear good news, it's like when a vegan eats a cheeseburger. My body doesn't know what to do with it, but it knows it's good. Our souls have all been ground to dust by a relentless winter and a year of being trapped indoors, drinking gin straight from the bottle and binging increasingly obscure TV shows. It got so bad, I downloaded a German streaming service called Unterhalten für die Menschen to watch a crime show that takes place in Baden-Württemberg, starring famed German character actor Albert von Müller-Schmidt as Detective Otto Jagerhauer. Oh man, let me tell you, episode 3 is a real Klippenbugel. That's German for cliffhanger. Anyway, the point is we're so close. We can't screw it up now. We need to spend the next 2 or 3 months really crushing this thing so we can all have a potentially beautiful summer. The Senate is on the verge of passing a massive COVID relief plan to help get everyone through the next few months. And President Biden has announced a production deal that could ensure vaccines for every American by the end of May. Think about that. Come July 4th, you could be knocking back a cold one in your neighbor's yard while he flips burgers and drones on about how much better it is to cook with charcoal. You'll be seeing so much of your neighbors, you'll start praying for the next pandemic. We could get there. It's possible. We just have to spend the next few months not screwing up, which of course means some governors immediately started racing to screw it up.
The governors of Texas and Mississippi say they are lifting nearly all of their state's coronavirus restrictions and mask mandates in the coming days. Now, despite new warnings that the U.S. could soon face a deadly fourth surge of the virus.
Health officials are warning Americans should not become complacent because this pandemic is not over yet. We are still seeing roughly 1,500 deaths every single day from the virus.
All businesses of any type are allowed to open 100%. Also, I am ending the statewide mask mandate.
Your reaction to the governor's announcement today?
Insanity. I'd like to say that Governor Abbott has lost his mind.
In fairness, maybe he didn't lose it. Maybe it just froze during the massive power failure that happened on his watch. Damn, guys, we're so close. Why are you doing this now? You really want people to congregate at full capacity in bars and gyms and nightclubs? I wouldn't even go to a full capacity nightclub without a pandemic. I mean, why? So I can awkwardly wave my hands in the air to some EDM while a jack dude on Molly touches my face and asks me how Stefan is? He's fine. He's fine, and he's fictional. And by the way, this isn't the fault of Texans. They need and deserve help and vaccines as much as anyone else. It's the fault of their political leaders. And look, I get it. Businesses really are struggling. It's still too early to reopen the riskiest ones, and we should just be giving everyone money to survive. But I understand it's a difficult trade-off. But rescinding the mask mandates, that's just full insanity. Masks work. There's so much proof. Thanks to masks and social distancing, the flu basically vanished this year. Meanwhile, South Dakota resisted a mask mandate, and that state's mortality rate has been the highest in the country since last July. Masks can actually help us open up more safely. Plus, I gotta be honest, I'm surprised politicians that are so pro-cowboy hat find masks uncomfortable. Maybe it's my weak neck, but I'd rather wear 100 masks than one of those big old hats. That's a shame, though, because I look very good and natural when I wear one. That's real. That's not Photoshop. One of the most galling parts of rescinding the mask mandates is that many of the people who will suffer most are workers. The mask isn't just for your safety, it's for the safety of those around you. Workers who have no choice but to show up to their jobs in person will be at risk, and the politicians will be fine. So please, keep wearing a mask. The last thing a Foot Locker employee needs is for you to show up maskless and spend an hour trying on different sizes of red Yeezys that are going to look ridiculous on you no matter what. And by the way, this is the same party that, as we speak, is trying to rebrand itself as a workers' party, even as they needlessly put workers in harm's way. In the aftermath of the Trump presidency, you've probably heard a few Republicans ludicrously trying to rebrand themselves as the champions of the working class. You know, the same guys who crammed through a $2 trillion tax cut for corporations and the wealthy in the dead of night without a single hearing and literally scribbled notes in the margins at the last minute to make it easier for the wealthy to avoid taxes by using pass-through companies. All that stuff Springsteen's always singing about. Got a wife and kid in Baltimore, Jack, but I can claim them as consultants and I get it all back. I mean, now it's good. I had a bad one last week, but now it's fully like he's here. Remember when Elizabeth Warren, who is now pushing for a wealth tax on the richest Americans that the fake Republican populists also opposed, tried to read the text of the GOP tax cut and couldn't even make out what it said?
They're sending around their edits as we speak. Adjustments attributable to conversion from S corporation, it's been cut off, to corporation. Section 481 is amended by adding at the end, I assume they mean end, but again, it's all cut off, the following new subsection. Adjustments attributable to conversion for a corporation, something, C corporation, paren, dangerous? That can't be right.
Sounds like she's trying to read the text on a bottle of Dr. Bronner's. Made with mint, lavender, juniper, and whale meat? That can't be right. By the time they were done with it, that bill looked like a science textbook you got for $6 at an off-campus bookstore, the one where the last paragraph says, as of this publishing, Jonas Salk is getting some promising results. And I have to say, watching a Harvard professor try to make heads or tails of nonsensical writing gave me chilling flashbacks to college. So that's why Pacino and De Niro make convincing, if unlikely, adversaries in the movie Heat. Now, Mr. Myers, you do know this is a chemistry class, right? Hey, you're not going to find better chemistry than De Niro and Pacino in their prime. That is a much more explosive combo than hydrogen peroxide and sodium iodide. Ooh, they should do a remake of that movie now. And instead of a diner, they'd meet virtually. Thanks for meeting me in the Zoom room. I'm ready to Zoom tonight, baby. I can't hear you. Somebody mute you. Somebody muted you. What? I'm on mute. Nobody mutes Alfredo James Pacino. My mic is always hot, baby. And I'm feeling sky high. It's very nice when there are no people here, because then I can give the people what they want. So the same guys who wrote and voted for that massive giveaway to corporations and the wealthy, who are needlessly putting workers in harm's way by repealing mask mandates and using them as cannon fodder against the virus, are now trying to rebrand themselves as working-class populists. Texas Senator Ted Cruz tried that last week at the Conservative Political Action Conference, and then again this week on Fox News.
The Democratic Party has abandoned the working class men and women, the millions of people who are out of jobs, who are seeing their wages pulled down, who are competing to provide for their families with people coming illegally. That's not who the Democratic Party represents anymore. They don't represent unions anymore. They don't represent construction workers or truck drivers or working men and women anymore. The Republican Party is not the party just of the country clubs. The Republican Party is the party of steel workers and construction workers and pipeline workers and taxi cab drivers and cops and firefighters and waiters and waitresses and the men and women with calluses on their hands who are working for this country. That is our party.
Oh, please, Ted Cruz. Your hands are so delicate, you need an epidural to get through a manicure. The only calluses Ted Cruz has on his hands are for checking kayak on his phone. Also, I'm willing to bet the only truck driver Cruz has ever met is this guy. But yeah, sure, we all believe you're a pro-union, blue-collar guy who's fighting for working people from your flight to the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun. I'm sure those construction workers you're pretending to care about are thrilled that thanks to the tax bill you voted for, they can finally convert their S corporations to C corporations and use their corporate pass-through vehicles to reduce their tax liability. Everybody remembers the famous photo of steelworkers sitting atop a skyscraper, but did you know they wrote off those lunch boxes as business expenses by funneling their income through a limited liability company? But if Ted Cruz and his fellow faux populist hucksters like Missouri Senator Josh Hawley really wanted to prove their supposed pro-union blue-collar bona fides, they could easily speak up in favor of a courageous and unprecedented union drive by Amazon workers in Alabama, because right now those workers are bravely taking on one of the richest and most powerful companies in the world, and the company is going to extreme lengths to stop them.
An historic labor showdown in Alabama tonight involving the world's largest online retailer, and it's drawing the attention of the White House. Thousands of workers at an Amazon warehouse voting on whether to form the company's first labor union in the U.S. Amazon pushing employees to vote no.
Bessemer, Alabama is home to an Amazon warehouse where about 6,000 employees are voting right now on whether to form the internet giant's first union in the U.S. It's a bitter battle. Warehouse employees like Jennifer Bates constantly get texts from Amazon warning that union dues could leave them with less money than they already have. Anti-union flyers are even posted inside warehouse bathroom stalls.
First of all, Amazon, stop sending anti-union texts. In fact, stop sending texts in general. Amazon texts me more than my wife, especially when I ask her about one of my impressions. Seriously, Amazon, I don't need a text every time I place an order, then another one when that order's received, then another when the package is shipped, and another when it's dropped off. What's next? A text when my neighbor gets mad that I left the package in the hallway for too long and reports me to the co-op board for a disciplinary hearing. Janet, I know you've been trying to get me kicked out because you hate my welcome mat, but too bad because I think it's funny. And we need to laugh, Janet. It's hard to overstate just how seismic and historic this union drive is. Amazon workers are fighting against the largest retailer in the world, run by one of the richest men in the world, which is going all out to stop them.
Why do you want to join a union?
Because I feel like we need an amplified voice. We've been talking to Amazon about issues that we've had, and they've ignored us. So we need a sense of security and a louder voice and better wages.
Amazon hired a group of union buster consultants that they paid each consultant $3,200 a day to try to convince these people to vote against themselves. Amazon is no more than, when we look at things down there, it's a sweatshop. And people are out there just working. They have to touch a package. Every 8 seconds, they have to touch a package. They're only allowed 2 30-minute breaks a day.
They have to touch a package every 8 seconds? That's insane. Not even the TSA works that fast. Fred, where's my rim shot? Fred, that joke clearly called for a rim shot, buddy. Okay, you know what? We're gonna have to have a meeting. Well, where was I? Oh, right. They have to touch a package every 8 seconds. Just too late, Fred. But also, it's insane they only get 2 30-minute breaks. They're essential workers employed by a company whose CEO increased his wealth by $75 billion in 2020, and they basically kept the entire country running during a pandemic. Without Amazon, I probably would have had to camp out at Trader Joe's for toilet paper, like the standby line for SNL when BTS performs, or when I hosted. You should have seen the line. I did not sign off on adding a tumbleweed. This is an actual fight by courageous working-class union organizers against a corporate Goliath. If you were to actually take the pretend populace of the GOP at their word, this is the exact kind of thing they supposedly care about, and yet they've been silent. Meanwhile, Biden released a major and truly unprecedented video in support of the effort, and without mentioning Amazon by name, warned companies to stop intimidating workers who want to unionize.
The choice to join a union is up to the workers, full stop, full stop. Today and over the next few days and weeks, workers in Alabama and all across America are voting on whether to organize a union in their workplace. This is vitally important, a vitally important choice, and there should be no intimidation, no coercion, no threats, no anti-union propaganda. No supervisors should confront employees about their union preferences.
And of course, Joe came out for the union. He was one of those guys eating lunch on that skyscraper. You think he's going to be out blue-collared by Ted Cruz, of all people? He's ridden Amtrak so many times, he's probably got a railroad union card. If politics didn't work out, his fallback plan was working in the snack car on the Acela. We got gum and coffee, and that's it. So Biden came out forcefully in favor of union rights, and yet we've heard radio silence from the so-called populists of the Republican Party who pretend to be pro-worker and anti-big tech, although in fairness, they do have much more important things going on right now.
Well, first it was Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head. Now it's Dr. Seuss.
They want to cancel the Muppets. They want to cancel Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. So when will this stop?
You see, last week they tried to cancel Kermit the Frog and Mr. Potato Head. You see that?
Look out, Mr. Potato Head. You're next.
If I wanted to buy one, and let's say I had the boy at home and I wanted the girl.
And the money.
The box is going to say Potato Head. How am I going to know which one I'm getting?
Exactly.
This week alone, they canceled Mr. Potato Head. This week alone, they canceled the Muppets. They're canceling Dr. Seuss.
First, they outlawed Dr. Seuss, and now they want to tell us what to say.
Ah, yes, the party of the working class. If class in this case means third grade. Do you guys really think any actual adult in their right mind cares about a few Dr. Seuss books getting pulled from publication because of racist imagery? Even my kids don't care about Dr. Seuss. They want to watch the League of Legends World Championship, even though I'm still trying to get them into my favorite board game, Ocean Master, which has a new expansion pack called Port a Call. The way it works is you get skill cards for every port you dock at, which helps you mine resources, which translate to gold coins, which you can then use to hire deckhands who help you find islands where you collect minerals, and whoever collects the most minerals gets to pick a different game to play. Republicans are preposterously trying to rebrand themselves as a party of working-class populists, despite the fact that they're still in lockstep behind a racist billionaire tax cheat who'd help them dole out trillions in tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy, and now they're needlessly putting workers in harm's way by prematurely lifting mask mandates. And one of them flew to a luxury resort in Cancun while his constituents froze to death. Meanwhile, courageous Amazon workers in Alabama need and deserve the support, and Republicans are silent. Turns out there's only one worker they're willing to stand up for, and that's
Mr. Potato Head.
This has been a closer look. God's Love We Deliver cooks and brings over 2 million meals a year to men, women, and children living with HIV, AIDS, cancer, and other serious illnesses, and they need your help now more than ever. If you're watching this online, you can hit the donate button. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask. We love you.